Yes, children. Good morning, children.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, ma'am.
Yes, beta. We have finished the theme 8 and we have to start the new theme, theme 9, Kings and Chronicles, the Mughal Code. Right? Okay. We'll start with the introduction. Okay, children. All of you know that Mughals have ruled over India for a long period of time, approximately more than the 3 centuries. That is from 1526 to 1857. And this period is known as the Mughal period. The Mughals found a significant way of transmitting this vision through the writing of dynastic histories. Okay, in this chapter, we will mainly study about this, what all writings they had asked their courtiers to do, like your Akbarnama, Badshahnama. Okay? The Mughal emperors assigned the job of writing accounts of their achievements to the court historians, who accomplished it scholarly and wisely. They recorded all the events of the time of the particular emperor. Moreover, the writers of these accounts collected large amounts of information from the regions of the subcontinent and described them in their accounts in order to help rulers in the administration of the domain. ठीक है, एक तरफ उनके अचीवमेंट्स को तो बताते थे, दूसरी तरफ वो डिफरेंट रीजन्स का भी उनको पूरा डिस्क्रिप्शन देते थे, जिससे कि उनको गवर्नेंस में या रूलिंग में भी हेल्प मिलती थी किंग्स को. And also these accounts help us significantly in reconstructing the Indian history during this period, or the Mughal period, you can say. These accounts, which have been termed as chronicles by the modern historians writing in the English, present a continuous chronological record of the events. They also provide us factual information regarding the institutions of the Mughal state and intended as conveyors of the meaning that the Mughal emperors wish to impose on their domain as well. Okay, children? Now we will see about the different rulers of the Mughal Empire in short. the Mughals and their empire. The name Mughal has been derived from Mongols. At present, this name symbolizes the grandeur of a powerful empire. However, it should be remembered, we must know that this name was not chosen by the rulers of the dynasty themselves. Being descendants of the Turkish ruler Timur on the paternal side, they termed themselves as Timurids. Right? And his mother side was your Genghis Khan line. Okay? So they don't want to be called as Mongols, yeah, Mughals, right? Because Mongols have been referred as barbaric hordes by them. ठीक है कि जो आपके मुगल्स थे इन्होंने बहुत ज्यादा मैसेकर किया है, लोगों को मारा है. ठीक है, तो वो अपने को उस नेम से कॉल करना पसंद नहीं करते. राइट. The term Mughal was used by Europeans to describe the Indian rulers of this period in the 16th century. ठीक है, they themselves have not chosen this term. ठीक है, to call them as Mughals. It was by the Europeans who came to India, and in the 16th century, this term was used for them. Since then, this term has been in continuous usage. Right, children? Okay. The first ruler, Zaharuddin Babar, Zaharuddin Muhammad Babar, ठीक है, was born on 14th Feb 1483 in Andijan, the capital of Fargana. There he faced the Uzbeks as his rivals, so he had to leave Fargana, and after that he captured Kabul in 1504. And in order to search territories and resources to satisfy the needs of the members of his clan, Babur advanced to the Indian subcontinent in 1526. Okay, this is how he came to India, okay, just to get the resources, excuse me, to satisfy the needs of his people. And after the death of Humayun, after the death of the Babur, Humayun became the king. Humayun made efforts to expand his empire, but the Afghan leader Sher Shah Suri in India defeated him, and he was forced to leave India. Okay? And Humayun took refuge in the court of the Safavids rulers of the Iran. And in 1555, Humayun recaptured his empire in India, defeating the Surs again. However, he could not enjoy his success and he died a year later. ठीक है, एक साल बाद ही उनकी फिर डेथ हो जाए. Then, after the death of Humayun, ठीक है, he was succeeded by his son Jalaluddin Muhammad Akbar. Akbar was greatest of all the rulers of the medieval Indian history. He not only expanded his empire, but also turned it into a richest and the largest and the strongest empire of the day. ठीक है, उन्होंने बहुत सारी पॉलिसीज, ठीक है, ऐसी इम्प्लीमेंट करी, अपने एम्पायर को बहुत ज्यादा बढ़ाया कि ही बिकेम द मोस्ट फेमस रूलर ऑफ द मुगल डायनेस्टी. He was successful in extending the frontiers of the empire to the Hindu Kush mountains and checking the expansion designs of the Uzbeks of the Turan and the Safavids of the Iran. ठीक है, उसने अपने एम्पायर को तो साथ साथ बढ़ाया और जो उसके राइवल्स थे उनको भी पूरा कंट्रोल और चेक करके रखा. His empire expanded from Kabul and Kandahar in the west, Kabul and Kandahar in the west to Bengal, and in the east from Kashmir to north to the Godavari in the south. Okay, means a large empire was established by the efforts of the Akbar. Okay, his policies were so rational, okay, and military power was very strong, which has helped him to attain all these things. After Akbar, Shah Jahan became the king, and after Shah Jahan, Aurangzeb ascended the Mughal throne. Right, children? Now we will see the next heading, that is the production of chronicles. Okay, as we have studied in the introduction itself, the chronicles produced under patronage of the Mughal emperors help us significantly in reconstructing the history of the Mughal period. ठीक है, उस हिस्ट्री को मुगल पीरियड की लिखने में ये हमें हेल्प करते हैं. These chronicles throw significant light, particularly on the empire and its court. Court historians were the authors of the Mughal chronicles. They wrote chronicles under the patronage of the Mughal rulers, that it was but natural that the events centered on the ruler, his family, the court and the nobles. ठीक है, जो भी वो लिखते थे that mainly surrounded the king and his family and the nobles and the court. Wars and administrative arrangements became the central subjects of their writings. The titles like Akbarnama, Shahjahanama, Alamgir Nama, okay, they are the history of the Akbar, history of the Shah Jahan, and Alamgir Nama is the history of the Aurangzeb. Suggests that the empire and the court was synonymous with that of the emperor in the eyes of the authors. ठीक है, कि king और emperor, sorry, emperor and the empire, ठीक है, दोनों एक दूसरे के बराबर वो मान करके चल रहे थे. Chronicles were written in Persian. All the court histories of the Mughal period were written in the Persian. Yes, children, we should not forget this, that along with the North Indian languages, okay, Persian as well as the North Indian languages, particularly Hindu and its regional variants. The Persian flourished as a language of the court and of the literary writings during the Sultanate period. By origin, the Mughals were Chagatai, okay, or you can say Turkish. And it should be remembered that the Babur, who was the first emperor of this dynasty, wrote poetry and his memories in Turkish. Akbar, while displaying his far-sightedness, made the leading language of the code to Persian. Okay? It appears that the cultural and the intellectual contacts of the Mughals with Iran played a significant role in it. Perhaps the Iranian and the Central Asian migrants seeking positions at the Mughal court motivated the emperor to declare Persian as the language of the empire. ठीक है, साथ साथ ये भी माना जाता है कि बहुत सारे इरानियन और सेंट्रल एशियन पीपल मुगल कोर्ट में आते हैं टू गेट द गुड पोजीशंस देयर, है ना, वहां पर उनको अच्छी पोजीशन मिल जाए, और उन लोगों के इन्फ्लुएंस में आकर भी पर्शियन को एज अ कोर्ट लैंग्वेज डिक्लेयर करा गया. The persons having command on the Persian were conferred power and prestige. Okay. At first, the Persian was spoken by the king, the royal household, and the elite at the court, but gradually it became the language of the administration at all levels. Therefore, the accountants, clerks, and the other functionaries as well started learning the Persian language. Means even those people who were working in the Mughal court, okay, Mughal offices, they also have to learn this language. Okay. The Persian also influenced in a way or the other the languages of those regional codes where the Persian was not used directly. For example, the language of the official records in Rajasthani and Marathi and even Tamil came under great influence of the Persian vocabulary and idioms. ठीक है, जो हमारी कुछ इंडियन लैंग्वेजेस थी उसमें भी, क्योंकि पर्शियन बिकेम सो पॉपुलर कि वहां पर आपका पर्शियन लैंग्वेज के कुछ idioms and vocabulary को यूज किया जाने लगा. और साथ साथ क्या हो रहा था कि जो पर्शियन लैंग्वेज है दैट ऑल्सो बिकेम इंडियनाइज्ड. ठीक है, जब हम एक दूसरे के कांटेक्ट में आते हैं, ठीक है, तो वी अडॉप्ट द थिंग्स फ्रॉम ईच अदर. तो इसी तरीके से जो कुछ इंडियन लैंग्वेजेस थी वो आपकी पर्शियन इडियम्स एंड वर्ड्स को यूज कर रही थी, और वेयर एज जो पर्शियन लैंग्वेज थी उसमें भी कुछ इंडियन वर्ड्स का यूज हो रहा. ठीक है, जैसे हमने उसका कहा है ना कि वो पर्शियन इडियम्स यूज होते थे, ऐसे ही पर्शियन में बहुत सारे लोकल इडियम्स वर यूज्ड, और यू कैन से दिस वाज द प्रोसेस ऑफ इंडियनाइजेशन ऑफ द पर्शियन लैंग्वेज. And the interaction of the Persian and the Hindi gave the birth to a new language. Yes, children, what is that language? क्या लैंग्वेज थी बेटा वो? It was Urdu. Right, children? Under Akbar patronage, patronage, many significant historical works were produced in Persian, of which Akbarnama by Abul Fazl enjoys the highest place. And even many things were translated into Persian. The Mahabharata and Ramayana were translated into the Persian by Mughals. The Persian translation of the Mahabharata was known as Razmnama, means the book of wars. Several other Sanskrit texts were also translated into Persian. Abul Fazl himself translated Panchtantra under the title Anwar I Sahili. ठीक है, और ऐसे भी और बहुत सारी चीजें हैं जो कि ट्रांसलेट करी गई थी पर्शियन लैंग्वेज में. Now we will see the making of the manuscript or the process by which the manuscripts were made. The handwritten subject matter of a text or book is known as manuscript. ठीक है, all of you know this. ठीक है, कि जो हमारा जब तक प्रिंट नहीं आया था, whatever is written by the hand, वो सारी चीजें आपका मैन्युस्क्रिप्ट कहलाती. In Mughal India, all books were manuscript, that is, they were handwritten. Okay, right, children? The Mughal emperors had established an imperial kitab khana where all this work was done. Okay, writing of manuscripting was done. The Mughal emperors had established an imperial kitab khana. This was the center of the manuscript production. Though जो अगर हम प्रेजेंट कंटेक्स्ट में देखते हैं ना, किताब खाना का क्या मतलब होता है, लाइब्रेरी होता है. ठीक है, वेयर बुक्स वर केप्ट कलेक्टिवली. ठीक है, पर मुगल पीरियड में किताब खाना का क्या मतलब था कि इट इज अ प्लेस जहां पर नए मैन्युस्क्रिप्ट्स को लिखा जाता था या प्रोड्यूस करा जाता था. राइट, द क्रिएशन ऑफ मैन्युस्क्रिप्ट वाज नॉट द जॉब ऑफ ए सिंगल इंडिविजुअल. ठीक है, ऐसा नहीं है कि एक ही आदमी जिसको लिखना आता है वो सारा काम कर लेगा. ठीक है, मैनी पीपल वर असाइन, बहुत सारे लोग मिलकर के पूरा मैन्युस्क्रिप्ट को तैयार करते थे. इट रिक्वायर्ड द कोऑपरेशन ऑफ ए नंबर ऑफ पीपल इन्वॉल्व्ड इन ए वैरायटी ऑफ टास्क. The manuscript was prepared through a long process. First of all, the folios of the manuscripts were prepared by the paper makers. ठीक है, जिसके ऊपर उनको लिखा जाना है वो स्टफ तैयार किया जाता था. Then the text was copied by the scribes or the calligraphers. फिर उन folios पर आपका सब चीजें, जो भी कैलीग्राफर्स हैं वो राइटिंग का काम करते थे. And after it, the pages were illuminated by the gliders and the scenes from the text were illustrated by the painters. Right? केवल ऐसा नहीं कि उन्होंने लिख दिया. ठीक है, जैसे आज भी आप देखते हो कि बुक्स को इंटरेस्टिंग बनाने के लिए हम क्या करते हैं, बहुत सारी चीजें उसमें ऐड करते हैं, है ना, पिक्चर्स वगैरह ऐड करते हैं, so that people like that particular thing, है ना, उनको वो चीजें देखने में अट्रैक्टिव लगे, तो इंटरेस्टिंग लगे तो वो उसको अच्छे से पढ़ें. After it, the pages were illuminated by the gliders and the scenes from the text were illustrated by the painters. ठीक है, जो भी टेक्स्ट से रिलेटेड चीजें होती थी उनको पेंटर्स डिस्क्राइब करते थे through some paintings. In the end, the individual folios were gathered and set within ornamental covers by the bookbinders. और पेंटिंग का काम होने के बाद, उसमें लिखने के बाद, ठीक है, ये सारा जब वर्क कंप्लीट हो जाता था तो बुक बाइंडर्स उनको एक ऑर्नामेंटल या सुंदर से कवर में बाइंड कर देते. Thus, going through this long process, a manuscript came into creation. राइट चिल्ड्रन, और इस तरीके से इतने सारे एफर्ट्स के बाद आपकी जो मैन्युस्क्रिप्ट है ना, वो रेडी होती. The finished manuscript was considered a valuable object, a work of intellectual wealth and beauty. And in the opinion of the historians, these beautiful and attractive manuscripts symbolize the power and the grandeur of the Mughals. ठीक है, ये सब उनकी पावर, किस तरीके से उन्होंने उन बुक्स को लिखवाया है, क्या उनके अचीवमेंट्स हैं, बिकॉज ऑल दीज थिंग्स वर मेंशन्ड इनटू दीज बुक्स. The calligraphers had a very significant role in the process of making a manuscript. Calligraphy, that is the art of writing. All of you have participated in many calligraphy competitions also. In different styles. The style which was liked by the Akbar was your Nastaliq style of writing. Okay, let us see what was this Nastaliq style of writing, children. The Nastaliq style of calligraphy was the favorable style of the Mughal Emperor Akbar, and it was a fluid style with long horizontal strokes. A piece of trimmed reed have a tip of 5 to 10 millimeters known as kalam, है ना. पहले जैसे अब आपके पेन होते हैं, such type of pens were not used, children. ठीक है, एक रीड या लकड़ी का जैसे बांस होता है ना आपका, उसका पतला फॉर्म, छोटा फॉर्म है ना, उससे इसको लिखा जाता था रीड को, और इसकी जो टिप है वो बहुत फाइन होती थी, 5 से 10 mm की होती थी. And it was used in writing in the Nastaliq style. Writing was done by dipping the kalam in carbon ink, है ना, उसको स्याही भी बोलते थे. ठीक है, ये आपके डिफरेंट कलर्स में भी आती थी, ब्लू, ब्लैक एंड रेड, ग्रीन, बहुत सारे कलर्स में आती थी. And usually the nib of the kalam was split in the middle. ठीक है, और जो कलम होती थी उसकी जो निब है उसको बीच से थोड़ा सा कट कर दिया जाता था. ठीक है, आप लोगों ने तो नहीं देखे हैं फाउंटेन पेन, है ना, हम लोगों ने अपने टाइम पर फाउंटेन पेन यूज करें. ठीक है, उसमें भी बीच में थोड़ा सा स्पेस होता था जिससे कि इंक अच्छे से फ्लो भी कर सके और इंक को वो एब्जॉर्ब भी कर सके. ठीक है, उस समय इंक अच्छे से एब्जॉर्ब कर सके इनकी कलम और स्मूथली काम कर सके, इसलिए इसको बीच से स्प्लिट कर दिया जाता है. Muhammad Hussain of the Kashmir enjoyed a significant place among the calligraphers of the Akbar's court. Okay, and he was one of the finest calligraphers of the court. That is why Akbar had appointed him. Okay, बहुत सारे लोग काम करते थे, that we have seen for making a manuscript, but सबको बराबर popularity नहीं मिल पाती. Some of them became very much popular, but others did not get so much importance. Thus, some of the people contributing in the actual production of the manuscript were honored. And honored by awards and titles. However, it should be kept in mind that all the people involved in the production of the manuscripts were not fortunate enough to get the recognition in the forms of titles and awards. Of these, calligraphers and painters were lucky to enjoy a high social standing, but some others, such as paper makers and book binders, इन लोगों को ज्यादा लोग नहीं जान पाते. They remained anonymous. आर्टिसंस, ठीक है, जैसे कहते हैं ना वर्किंग बिहाइंड द कर्टन, उनकी कोई पहचान ज्यादा नहीं हो पाती. It was not considered essential to reward and honor them for their work. Perhaps their work was not so significant in the eyes of the emperor. ठीक है, एम्परर को ये नहीं लगता था कि उनका काम इतना इम्पोर्टेंट है जितना कि कैलीग्राफर्स एंड पेंटर्स का हुआ करता था. राइट चिल्ड्रन? ओके, दिस इज हाउ वी हैव सीन कि किस तरीके से आपका ये पिक्चर्स वगैरह ऐड करके मैन्युस्क्रिप्ट्स को बहुत ज्यादा अट्रैक्टिव बनाया जाता था. नाउ वी विल कम टू द नेक्स्ट हेडिंग, है ना, और इसी में कि पेंटेड इमेज, बिकॉज देयर वर सम कंट्रोवर्सी अबाउट द यूज ऑफ पेंटिंग्स इन द बुक्स. ठीक है, as we have already discussed, children, the painters also had a significant role in making the Mughal manuscripts. Almost all the Mughal emperors were very fond of painting except Aurangzeb. Babur was the first Mughal emperor in India who patronized paintings and got some part of the autobiography painted. जो बाबर नामा है उसमें भी उन्होंने पेंटिंग का काम कराया है. Babur's successor Humayun had a deep love for painting. Because of the political upheavals, he had to seek shelter in Persia, leaving India. Here he got opportunity to study the art of painting. The names of the painters like Behzad contributed significantly in spreading the cultural fame of the Safavid court far and wide. Many of the Persian painters, ठीक है, joined Humayun when he came back to India. Paintings made a very great progress during the reign of Akbar. In order to encourage painting, Akbar created a separate department of painting and placed it under the control of the Khwaja Abdus Samad. And now, children, we should keep this thing in mind that according to the ulema, the depiction of the living being in a naturalistic manner was forbidden, right? That is why they don't prefer to use the paintings in the manuscript writing. The ulema were, while quoting the Quran and the Hadith, tried to invoke the Islamic prohibition of portrayal of the human beings. ठीक है, आप देखते हैं ना कि जो उनकी मॉस वगैरह होती है उसमें भी सारे ज्योमेट्रिकल डिजाइन्स होते हैं या फ्लोरल चीजें होती हैं. सॉरी, ये ह्यूमन बीइंग्स या नेचुरल चीजों को प्रोहिबिट करा जाता है. They emphasized that the Prophet Muhammad was against the depiction of a living beings, as by doing so it appeared as if the artist was seeking to appropriate the power of creation. ठीक है, उनको लगता था कि जो पावर ऑफ क्रिएशन है ये किसके हाथ में है? गॉड के हाथ में है. और अगर हम उसी तरह की कोई चीज पिक्चर की फॉर्म में, जैसे गॉड ने आपके नेचर को बनाया है, ह्यूमन बीइंग्स को बनाया है, उसको इतने अच्छे से पेंट करके अगर उन बुक में यूज करते हैं कि वो बिल्कुल देखने में रियल लगे, तो उनको लगता है कि हम गॉड के काम में इंटरफेयर कर रहे हैं. However, Akbar did not agree with the ulema on this point. So he asked Abul Fazl, the court historian of the Akbar, cites the emperors as saying there are many that hate the painting. ठीक है, अकबर ने ऐसा बोला है, उन्होंने अपने उसमें लिखा हुआ है अकबरनामे में. But such men I dislike. It appears to me that an artist has a unique way of recognizing the god when he must come to feel that he can not bestow life on his work. ठीक है, उन्होंने कहा कि ये अगर आर्टिस्ट इस चीज को पेंट कर पा रहे हैं, बिल्कुल नेचुरल सीन्स को, है ना, उनके कोर्ट के सीन्स को, जंगल्स के सीन्स को, उनके हंटिंग के सीन्स को, तो उन्होंने कहा ये एक बहुत बड़ी आर्ट है और हमें से रिकॉग्निशन देना चाहिए. Thus, the production of paintings portraying the emperor, his court, and the people who were part of it remained a source of constant tension between the rulers and the ulemas. ठीक है, उनके बीच में काफी confrontation होते थे. ठीक है, ulemas, they were the representatives of the Muslim orthodoxy. ठीक है, वो उनको लगता था, वो अपना पुराने विचारों के लोग थे कि जैसे आपके प्रॉफिट मोहम्मद ने कहा हुआ है उसके अकॉर्डिंग हमें इन चीजों का इस्तेमाल, पेंटिंग्स का इस्तेमाल नहीं करना चाहिए इन द राइटिंग्स. Chronicles giving narrations of the events of the Mughal emperor's reign contained, along with the written text, images describing an event, you can say, in a visual form. The calligraphers used to leave blank spaces on nearby pages जहां उन्हें लगता था कि कोई visual scene और या पेंटिंग वहां पर आनी चाहिए. The painters would execute the painting of what was described in the words. ठीक है, जो चीज वो वर्ड्स में डिस्क्राइब करते थे सामने वाले पेज पर, वही चीज पेंटिंग की फॉर्म में जो ब्लैंक स्पेस छोड़ा जाता था वहां पर बना दी जाती थी. Okay, and these paintings were your miniature paintings. And this, the Abul Fazl, the court historian of the Akbar, described paintings as magical art, and he believed that the paintings had the power to make inanimate objects look like possessing life. ठीक है, उनको लगता था कि इस तरीके से वो जो इनमेट ऑब्जेक्ट्स हैं उनमें भी लाइफ प्रेजेंट कर सकते हैं और चीजों को बहुत सुंदर रूप में, अट्रैक्टिव, डेकोरेटिव रूप में प्रेजेंट कर सकते हैं. नाउ द टाइम इज ओवर चिल्ड्रन. Okay, we just stop here and continue with the same printed image in the next class. Okay, and go through the part, and if you find any problem, you are most welcome to ask children. Okay, have a good day and stay safe. Bye children.